Hello and welcome back to Chasing the Target. We've got a very special episode today. As you know, the current India versus England series going on, and this man is always mentioned whenever England is touring India because he was the guy who created history. Last time around, it was the only team in the last 10 years to have won a series in India, and he's also won an Ashes, mind you. I've got with us Monty Panesar. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
No worries. Our absolute pleasure. Fez, you're also with us. What's up, man? How are you?
All good. 2-1 right now, so we're doing well. But yeah, I'm just gonna wait till Monday buys, inputs.
Yeah, no, for sure. Monty, just want to start off with your current thoughts on the series, India versus England, 2-1. Nicely poised. I mean, there's a lot of discourse, a lot of talk about baseball, a lot of talk about India missing key players. But how do you evaluate the current series right now, as of now?
Yeah, look, I think England have done, probably really well considering the lack of experience there is, with England spinners. They don't have much, first class experience, but Ben Stokes creates that sort of positive environment where then he gets them to perform really well at international level. So that's been very impressive. But I thought as the series keeps, kept on going like we have seen, eventually India will probably get the upper hand. They'll get a feel of how England are playing, what the quality of spin bowlers are like, who are going to be the danger man for England, and how they've negated like the likes of James Anderson. He hasn't really been very hasn't taken the wickets that he probably would hope to, and then India have attacked the spinners because they've exposed. They obviously know they've exposed their vulnerabilities. So from that point of view, I think India now are probably in the front seat, and you can see even without Virat Kohli, India are a very, very strong side.
100%. Before I just hand it to Fez, I just wanted to follow up on that. I just want to talk about the English spinners. I mean, of course, I'm sure you've been asked this a lot, but they did really well in the first Test match when no one really gave them a chance. But how big is Leach's absence in this? Because he's that experienced one. He's the one who's bowled overs in India. He understands the pitches a bit more. So how do you evaluate that, his miss, and the current lot, the likes of Hartley, Rayan Ahmed, and Shoaib Bashir?
Yeah, look, I think with Jack Leach, he'll be disappointed that he's missed out again. He missed out during the Ashes, constantly picking up an injury or something or another. But he works, incredibly hard, and he's got, great mental toughness. But that obviously, we applaud that, and we have a huge amount of respect, for him. But when you look at his stock delivery, it hasn't really changed much. So he hasn't really improved in terms of his wrist position. And when you look at Tom Hartley's wrist position, it's actually a bit more better if you look at it. And he's just a young spinner. So if Tom Hartley's had a fantastic, 16 wickets, averaging 33. Now, if he keeps bowling like this, in the last game he bowled well, economically picked up wickets. I can see him genuinely being that first spinner, playing the first Test match in England, because I think the potential is much higher with Tom Hartley. Like with Jack Leach, we know what we're going to get with him, and I just think he's bowled so many overs with that, with this wrist position not being towards slip. Look at Jadeja's or even Tom Hartley's, better wrist position, so they get more spin and they get better shape on the ball. Jadeja's a perfect one. He's got it absolutely spot on. I think Jack Leach's a bit squarer, a bit towards, wrist going towards point. But generally looking at it, I think Tom Hartley has really grown as a cricketer. And England have missed out, with Jack Leach, his experience, his option for Ben Stokes to have him there. I think they definitely are missing that.
Definitely. Fez?
Just on the lines you mentioned, India find out, who eventually England's weaknesses are as the tournament progresses. But where do you exactly think England lost the last two tests? Because they were in a very fantastic position to win them if they played the situation, and that's what we're seeing with England, that they're not playing according to the situation, more into this baseball dynamic. Do you think there's another way England could have probably gotten a victory?
Yeah, well, I think England they get caught up in entertainment and that brand of cricket. and they enjoy that. They enjoy entertaining the public. They enjoy, playing high risk cricket, and there are passages of play in both of the test matches where they're on top. So, like where, Zach Crawley was batting superbly well in the previous test match. And then Akshar Patel comes on. It could have just, normally what you do is first 2 overs, you see the new bowler, you get a pace of the line and the length, and then you attack. So you soak up a bit of the pressure and then you go for the attack. But what they're doing is when they're in a dominant position, they keep attacking. And I think that's where India kind of thinking, okay, you've gone after one spin bowler, let me change it up. And Rohit Sharma knows that they'll look to attack him straight up. So then he sets the field in that way. And I think that's where they give the ascendancy back to India. So Zach Crawley, in that over, when he came down the wicket, top edge, there was a fantastic catch by Shreyas Iyer. I thought that when the tables turned, because you can see India get into a position where they're thinking, gosh, we got no answers here. England are just being so dominant. And then the same thing with, in this test match just gone, there were 3 for 33. The young spinners who haven't had much first-class experience was a perfect opportunity to grab it by the horns and try and maybe bowl them out for under 300. But that partnership of 200, that was it.
Yeah.
Game was over by then. Everyone knew that it's gone too far now for England. So they've been in positions of winning it. Other teams will have reacted differently. But I think Ben Stokes, I think he likes attacking field setting, playing attacking cricket, playing with the psychology of playing with the Indian batsmen. And I think gradually, I think it just sort of turns in the favour of India rather than, I think he needs to sort of go, I think he needs to switch in and out. He needs to sort of think, right, basketball, being ultra positive. Now let's do a bit of traditional cricket, let's just soak up the pressure. And then when we're in a position, let's go full attack. And I think he just over attacks it. And then that's where India always come back in the game.
100%. And sorry, Faiz, you wanted to say this?
Yeah, I was just saying exactly like that was my thought, because after the third test, I was upset with England, and I told Mustafa once you had a 200-run partnership, you could have done much better, and they just spoiled it. They spoiled the test match for themselves.
Wanted the new sensation on the block, the kid on the block, Jaiswal. He is smashing it right now. Now let me put you as a current England cricketer. How do you look at it? Look at you've seen the pitches right now. The first 3 tests, 4 tests. Ranchi, we're probably thinking similar type of pitch, batting wicket. What fields are you setting? What lines are you bowling? What lengths are you bowling to the young Jaiswal? And also your thoughts on him as a batsman.
Yeah, look, I think Jaiswal is in a great form of his life. I think he's very confident in his own game plan. He knows his strengths really well, and I think he's learned from the England players being so positive in their batting, the way they're batting, and they're being, the courage of playing the scoop shot against Jadeja and then the reverse sweep. He's sort of thinking, wow, these guys are playing very positive cricket. That sometimes when you visually see an opposition being so positive in their approach, he's thinking, right, how can I be positive like that? And what are my strengths? So I think it's helped to align his thought process. And he's thinking, right, how can I be ultra positive? And he knows hitting down the ground is his strength. Not playing the sweep shot against the spinners, he doesn't need to. And then when he gets into that position of, right, let me try something, amazing, like the 3 sixes against James Anderson, it's a bit more calculated. So I would say, out of all the players, Jaiswal's probably playing the best form of baseball cricket. He's really, the risk element isn't so much compared to like Ollie Pope, who would probably play the reverse sweep, play the scoop. Yeah, they are very high risk shots. So I think Jaiswal looked at the young England batters and he thought, let me take a piece of that positive mindset and see how I can bring it into my game. And then how do you bowl to him? I think you got to bowl away from the eye line. What is it? you can bowl away from the eye line, and you can basically get his hands to go towards the line of the delivery. So as a fast bowler, you may try initially to get him out with the pace, like Mark Wood has done. But then if that doesn't work, then you go fifth, sixth stump and say, go on, you chase it with your hands. And we'll just set that kind of field a bit more wider. Everyone slips a bit wider. Have a few catches in the cover, extra point kind of place, where you get him to play something that is away from his body. You don't bowl towards his pads or his body.
Yeah. Also, just on that, Monty, I wanted to ask you about Joe Root. I mean, he's been talked about a lot. He has a fantastic record, not only in Test cricket, but in India specifically as well. Is he being forced to play this, I mean, by himself? Is it a mental thing? What is it? Because he's actually looking good. Like Johnny Bairstow looks out of form, but Joe Root does look in form. Is the reverse sweep, getting caught at slip, some short selections. But when you're looking at him, his defense looks solid. His, short selection, I mean, not short selection, but his timing and everything looks all together. So what do you think the issue is with Joe Root?
Well, I think the difficulty is that he's playing the same style of cricket that he's playing on English pitches, where the ball's a bit more quicker. It seems a little bit, but here, as a fast bowler, the ball probably sits in the pitch a little bit more. So when it comes to he's wants that pace, and he's not quite there at the same pace that you find in England, that he's probably getting out to the reverse sweep shot, which in England he'll probably just hit it over slip. But if he doesn't play in this way, then we're not going to be entertained, right? So if I'm a paying public and I'm paying, let's say, 50, 60 pound a ticket, and I see this boring style of cricket being played, I'm not going to go and watch it. But as a paying public, I'll like, no, I'm going to pay a little bit extra because these guys are going to be entertaining. They take that risk. And it gets everyone talking about it. Everyone is talking about Joe Root's dismissal. And that's credit to Brendan McCullum and Ben Stokes to say, go out and play like that way. So England could easily be a lot more competitive and play traditional style of cricket. But they choose not to because they want to change, the way cricket's being played. That's part of their legacy. But also, they're prepared to lose test matches. They don't care. It's fine. We lose test matches, but as long as we lose it by playing attacking cricket, we're happy with that. So that's India don't play like that. India look to win. They don't look to go for high risk shots. If anything, they'll go down the ground.
Yeah.
They won't do these reverse sweeps and all of that just to entertain us with the skill level and the wow factor. But England are doing that. So England are playing a much higher risk game of cricket, which in return, if it goes wrong, then you lose like they have done. But it's entertaining. We've been blessed over the last 12 months of some great entertaining cricket, and I want him to continue to do that.
Yeah, Fez, any question?
You've played under so many great captains like Strauss and Cook. How do you compare them to Ben Stokes? Do you favor Ben Stokes or against him?
A lot of people ask me that question. They go, if he was under Ben Stokes, what would he tell you to do? I think he'll say to me, Monty, you're batting at 11, first ball, hit the ball for 6. If you're not going to do it, then don't come back in the dressing room. While the previous captains will say to me, bat as many balls as you can, because the longer you stay out there, the opposition don't like it. So Ben Stokes, on the other hand, will say, Monty, first ball down the wicket, hit it for 6. Or if he bowls it short, pull him. I don't care. So that just, you've got the license to do it. So you just go, right, I'm just going to go for it. And in the field, if I'm at mid-on or mid-off, when it comes to you, I want you to hit the wicket, attack the ball, hit the wicket, or dive over it. I don't care if it goes for 4. So then it's like, all right, I'll dive over it, and it's gone for 4, but it's okay. I've been told to do this. So, he would free you up. And I think that's his greatest strength is he's got this ability as a captain to take the fear out of your game and make you feel very positive, which I believe no captain in the world is able to do that. MS Dhoni, great for his record because he's won so many games and all of that. but in a quick succession. If you ask MS Dhoni to say, right, in the IPL, have two spinners who've never played T20 cricket in their life, and they play against Mumbai Indians, go on, make these guys world beaters. I don't think he would do that. I don't think he would take that risk. Because MS Dhoni is all about processes. And he would say, no, that's too much of a risk for me. But Ben Stokes, yeah, give me two young spinners from league cricket. Come on then, let's go and play IPL. I'll take that risk. That's the difference between Ben Stokes, the entertaining captain, and MS Dhoni, who would probably do the risk assessment, do a SWOT analysis and say, this is far too risky for me. I can't take a young league cricketer from Tamil Nadu and get him to play for Chennai Super Kings without playing a game of T20 cricket. And that's what these three spinners are. They haven't played a lot of first class cricket. They haven't had a season of 50 to 60 wickets, which generally what you tend to do when you pick a spinner for England.
Yeah, and they were chosen in different ways, like through umpires cam and certain different
WhatsApp videos.
Yeah, that's why Ben Stokes. That's why we should be very lucky as world of cricket that Ben Stokes is creating. It does everything against the odds. He will, if his stats don't matter, he does against the odds, and that's what makes him great. That's his strength.
Now, where does England go from here, Monty? Like, how do they stay in this coming to the fourth test?
See, the funny thing is, right, other teams will be like, oh my God, we've had the heaviest defeat in the history of 90 years. Test cricket, we are doomed. I can't go to sleep at night. All I'm thinking about is why are we so bad? This team's not like that. They're like, let's do it again. We got it wrong this test match. Joe Root, first ball, reverse sweep. Johnny Bairstow, you know what? Yeah, you're going for a bad time. Don't worry about it. Next test match, first ball, whack it for 4. So when you talk about where we're going from here, traditionally, we would have the traditional style of thinking about it. You have a deeper analysis, you have a detailed analysis. These guys, they respond in a very positive manner. They say, we don't care what everyone else in the world thinks about basketball. We created basketball. Everyone else was surprised to watch, oh my God, the entertainment, the huge, ultra positive type of cricket we were playing. No one expected us to do. So now it's up to us. And the way they're going to do it is they're going to keep going same way, ultra positive, and they're going to be even more aggressive, in my opinion, because, they say, if we lose, let's lose the basketball way, and let's lose by being very entertaining. If we win, then we win the basketball way, and we be ultra aggressive and go after India. So they're just going to be positive. Their mindset is positive. They're not afraid of losing. If they lose again, let's say, and the same result happens, they don't mind that because they are there to entertain the public. And India, they don't throw the punches first. India wait until England throw the punch. And just shows that even at this stage, that India still has to play at their best to beat India, to beat England.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Because you look at the lead. This is what I'm talking about. That lead was far too much. 500 runs?
Yeah.
You know why was that the case? They're afraid. India are afraid that 400 can be chased down.
Basically, they should have declared way before. That's what
they should have declared at 350. If they were doing basketball, they should have said 350. Let's give you a chance to get in the game as well. No, but that's what Ben Stokes would have done.
100%. And you can tell as well on day 2 when Ben Duckett was batting, they were on the back foot and they were panicking. And even though you're 200 runs ahead, the body language didn't suggest that.
Yeah.
There you go. So Ben Stokes would have said 350, boys, come in. Let's challenge ourselves. We bowl them out for 250. Make an exciting game of cricket. But India won't do that. India just want to dominate and completely win the game. When that's where you have, I think, that's where you respect the England side.
Yeah, Monty, we just have a question from one of our subscribers. He was his name is Tejas, and he was asking, how do you see the scoreline? So basically, your prediction.
Well, I think if England keep sort of getting India back in the game like they do in the Ranchi Test match, because they can't help themselves, they just want to be ultra positive, then I think India got a high chance of winning. But I think if they're in a similar situation, they got them 3 for 30, or they're Zach Crawley's been batting superbly well, or one of the other batters are batting well, and they just be a bit more strategic about it, then I think England got a chance. And another thing England where they got to improve is just after lunch, just after tea, 10 to 15 minutes where you lose most of your wickets. If you look at it, Ben Stokes playing that shot against Jadeja, it doesn't need to do that. They maybe look at Jaiswal and see how he just hits down the ground. He won't play a high risk shot until he's earned a right, until he's hit 3 or 4 sixes down the ground. Then you think, right, now let me play a cross-bat shot. So I think, England are getting a bit too much caught up in playing high-risk, entertaining cricket, where in return, you kind of think, you could end up losing a test match by that. And does that really please you, or doesn't it? And that's where as a group, you sit down together and you say, guys, are we going too overboard with this baseball? Do we need to bring it in? Because, if we keep playing like this, then we'll end up losing again. Or do we go a bit more traditional, bury our egos and say, right, baseball is difficult in India. Let's be a little bit more traditional. And then once we've gone, let's say, a little bit more like how normal Test cricket is played.
Yeah.
For a session or two. And then go baseball. They've got to, if they can get the gear change right, then I think they could win. But if they keep playing like this style, I think India will win. India will win every Test match.
That's okay. At that time, can't you have someone like one person just be a bit traditional like Joe Root, and then someone else, and you keep entertaining? So you have your entertainment for one over, and then you have your traditional
old school. Best of both worlds.
You know what it is? It's the thrill. It's the thrill of putting 18 on a roulette, right? And then you put $100 on it, and then it's like, oh my God, I got it. That's baseball. It's the first ball. Jasmine Brahma bowl's a good length ball, and Joe Root can't help it. I'd rather get an 18 on a roulette than just play boring cricket. Bang, I want to do a reverse sweep. So it's the excitement and the thrill of playing high risk cricket that gives you immense satisfaction compared to more disciplined type of cricket, which it's boring, it's disciplined, it gets you the result, but what do you want? Do you want to be fun, adventurous, or do you want to be boring? And I think they just want to be fun and adventurous. They love all of that.
Yeah, and the fact that they have won in the past, that's given them that further confidence that they can keep going like that. I think some of the victories.
Absolutely. Like everyone knows that India's so dominant. Like even if India win the Test series, England will come back in England and they'll still play the same way. They won't stop that.
Yeah.
Because it's proven in England that it works. And at the moment, we're probably saying that style of cricket at the moment isn't working in India. And the next Test match, do they just change the balance a little bit, or they keep going? That's up to them as a group to decide.
Yeah, and I need to take you back, Monty, another 10 years ago, when you were the star of the show. And mind you, you were bowling to Virat Kohli and Sachin Tendulkar. That's the dream of every kid in the world, I think. So you were bowling to both of them. Just the mindset, your personal preparation, how you executed that, and then the team as well, the way you planned and how you got that success in India, because no one's done it since then.
Yeah, look, I think what it is, right, is that you have to bowl quality deliveries, right? And when you bowl quality deliveries, then you got to build on quality overs. So the mindset is not to get them out. The mindset is to bowl quality deliveries. How long can I keep bowling my best delivery, and in between that, tinker it a little bit, take the pace off, do that, and that's what me and Swanee did. We just said these guys are high quality players. They deserve high quality deliveries.
Yeah.
Not any rubbish bowling. So they, after they score 100 or 50, they should feel like, wow, you guys tested us, and that was really top level spin bowling. And that's how we thought. We thought, let's not chase the wickets. Let's bowl really good deliveries. And we worked on that. We worked on just, good stock deliveries, and good repeatable action. And then that allowed a bit of control for the captain to think, right, let me set a bit of I know what I'm getting from both of these guys. I know what I'm getting from Monty in terms of his quality deliveries. And I really worked on that. I thought, bowl it with pace, but with good up and down. So my action had to be good. Had to work on my flexibility on my shoulders, the snap at the crease. Because if I bowl it slowly, I don't have to, my rotation on my shoulders doesn't have to be so, the speed of rotation is slower, hip rotation is slower. So you got to work on your flexibility, and then the rotation's quicker. Like a catapult, like that kind of springy, you need that at that time, and that elasticity in your body. So you work on these things, so then the quality is good. So you bowl it quick, but it's with good shape. It's testing their defense. It even if they're going on the back foot, it's spinning off the surface. You put a lot of energy on it, and that's how we built ourselves. And I think that's probably gone out of the game a little bit now. Just bowling good stock deliveries and working hard on just refining that skill.
Yeah. Have you heard Ryan Ahmed, what he said recently in an interview? He said that, like, I don't want to bowl a maiden. I want to get, because
get
I know, but the thing is, they don't want to work hard. It's like in the IPL, we see a lot of cricketers coming through. They just want quick money, quick fame. I want 5 wickets in 10 overs. I don't want it in 30 overs. They don't want to do the hard yards. And I think someone like Ryan Ahmed, if he changes his mind and says, no, let me work on my stock delivery, how do I get it better? I think he'll play more test matches. I think he should think to himself, can I become like the premier spinner and bat at 6? Like in the next test match, I think he should bat in the top 6. I think he's a very good batsman. But then because his batting is so good, then he's not concentrating on his leg spin as much. He's compensating. He's like, oh, it's okay. I don't have to work on my leg spin that much. Let me just try variations. And if it doesn't work, it's all right. We got Joe Root here. We got Tom Hartley. But he could be the number 1 spinner. He could think, why can't I be the number 1 spinner for England and really work on a good stock delivery, so then I can, play in England as well as away test matches. But when you're so talented like that, you're going to be thinking, it's all right. I'll play T20 cricket. I'll play away test matches. So he's a very talented cricketer. He's got a lot of options. But I would really like him to work on a really good leg spin delivery. That the mindset is, I want to bowl 30 overs today. That's what I want to do. I want to bowl good spell of bowling. And then through that, you'll get good wickets.
Yeah. Also, you had Graham Swan with you, which was a massive partnership. Like, it was huge, and 2 high quality bowlers building pressure from. So that makes from both ends. So that makes it like really important as well, and makes it tougher for the batters, right? Like, they're playing you, who can get a wicket anytime. Then Swanee comes in and he keeps it tight as well. He picks up a wicket. So how important is that partnership, bowling in pairs?
Yeah, like we played together at Northants, so we knew each other's games. We know each other's characters. We help each other. He'll say, Monty, man, keep the left-hander on strike for me because I'll get him out next over. Yeah. And I'll then bowl these darts, or I will, bowl into the pitch to help him out. He'll do the same for me. And then we'll just end up getting wickets. So I wish we played a lot more test matches together. I think, we constantly helped, each other get loads of wickets. But that partnership was very good, me and Swanee.
Yeah.
Speaking of partnerships, Cardiff 2009, traditional cricket, it entertained us that day. You and Jimmy Anderson, that partnership of that session. What was it like in the center? What were you thinking? I've got 11 and a
Yeah,
half overs.
yeah, that's a good question. At that time, we had a batting buddy. So Andy Flower said, how do we get the tail to bat longer? So he said, why don't we get the batters to teach the tailenders how to bat? And then I had my game plan. If it's at the stumps, protect it. If it's short, drop the hands down. If it's away from an eye line, leave the ball. And just do that. And I thought, right, I'm just going to do that. I'll probably get out at one stage. But then that gave me a game plan. It gave me it organized my game plan, how to bat. And then I just followed it through. And then eventually I was like, oh, wow, this is a lot easier to bat. When you know in your mindset, these are the 3 shots I'm going to play. And I'm not going to play anything else. So I think that style of coaching from Andy Plough was really good. It was amazing. And Paul Collingwood was good for me. And yeah, we got there in the end. We saved our test match.
Were you panicking at any stage when you're batting?
No, not really. I was very calm, very relaxed, because I wasn't thinking about the game situation. I was thinking about where the ball will land and how I'll play the ball. Yeah. And in my mind, I think the outcome, I thought, well, I'm eventually, at some point, I'll nick the ball, or at some point I'll get out. Yeah. But I'd rather get out within my game plan than out of my game plan. Mm. And it just never happened. They never got us out.
Yeah. And we just got a question from Rahul. He's saying, he's asking you, which is the batsman you found toughest to bowl to?
Probably Graham Smith, I'll say. Never got him out. South African, big guy, big body language. It was brilliant. There was times where he gloved the ball, and because his body language was so good, he convinced me that he didn't glove it. Yeah. So it's so many these mental games. He was one of the best, I'll say, Graham Smith, in terms of his body language, composure, temperament. He was a tough guy to get out, man. I never got him out once. He averaged 80 against left-arm spin. Yeah, he was a very tough, like granite. It felt like I was bowling against granite, and very strong, mentally strong.
Yeah, I mean, Monty, we're almost towards the end, but I just last few fun questions that we wanted to ask you. One is basically any sledging stories you have, because we love that. We love banter. Yeah. We love.
Yeah.
So, like, any cricket banter stories that you have that you can think of?
Yeah, like I remember. What is it? When I was playing, I think. Against South Africa. Yeah, during that time. And I remember Graham Smith saying, I was at Lord's, about 60 overs, 0 for 120. And he goes, Monty, it's a turning pitch and you can't get me out. I think I don't want to borrow your brain, for my left arm spinner, because I'll end up building an idiot of a spinner.
Oh, damn.
What was your reply?
Well, I couldn't say anything because he was batting really well. Yeah. And I thought, you're probably right. Yeah. I don't have any game plans to get you out. And at the moment, I do feel like an idiot.
Yeah. Who was the chirpiest from your teammates? Like, who would, sledge the opposition?
Talk. Yeah.
I think once we did a funny incident as a team when we played against India. Yeah. We said as a joke, why don't we put jelly beans?
Yes.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Zahir Khan came out to bat. We put jelly beans on the crease, and everyone was cracking up. And I don't think Zahir Khan liked that. Yeah. And I think it backfired on us. I don't know why we did that. We lost that test. But just little things like that, jelly beans. Like, why are we doing little things like that? I think it motivated Zahir Khan because he's obviously got the ball to move around, and they answered back. So there you go. This is the fun stuff you do when you play international cricket.
Part of the game. Fez, you have any?
Your memory of Sachin's wicket, the first wicket you took.
Yeah, that was obviously a brilliant memory. It was because I never met any of these Indian players before, and I always watched them on TV. So when you finally meet them and you're on the same field, you gotta be a little bit like I just kept on just staring at Sachin, like you see a supermodel walking across the beach, right? You just keep staring at her and you think, wow, that's amazing, and Steve Harmison came up to me and he goes, Monty, like, you're playing Test cricket. Stop looking at him like he's like us. You can go and touch him. He's a human being, And then I snapped out of that. I thought, I've got to compete. And even Andrew Flintoff goes, come on, get this guy out and stop. You've got to snap out of it. And I snapped out of it. And then I bowled good deliveries and one hit the pad and Alimdar gave it out. And then I was like, wow. I couldn't believe it, the great Sachin. And I was with him actually recently in Bangalore this month. And it's sort of nice to see how I'm able to evolve from being so starstruck. And now I can just sit down with him and talk about, football, normal things, fast cars, just normal stuff like a mate. I think sometimes it's difficult, when you see some of the great heroes, the great cricketers on TV, and you never met them in real life. Your only relationship with them is through TV. But when you meet them in real life and you're talking about, is Lewis Hamilton a great, Formula One driver compared to, Max Verstappen, then, it's nice to have a bit more like a conversation as mates.
Yeah, he loves his football too, huh? He likes football too.
Yeah. He loves his sports, loves all types of sports.
No, that's great. And and also just to round it up, your favorite cricketing moment, like as an individual or as a team that you always
remember? Probably as a team was in Sydney when we won in Australia, and we were sitting on Sydney Stadium, all of us, and we're sitting there, we're thinking, this is Australian soil we're sitting on, and we've beaten Australia. It was an unbelievable feeling, honestly. Because we worked so hard in terms of the preparation. We went to Germany, we did a boot camp there. We helped each other as a team. We talked about team bonding. We talked about how, the whole of squad, it feels like, you're against a nation. The media is always there. Like, if you go to McDonald's and take a picture of you and put it on the front page, full Monty at Maccadee's or something like that. So you're mentally disintegrated before start of a series.
Yeah.
And that whole preparation and to go there and finally win in Australia, that was a brilliant moment. All of us sitting together and going through our, happy moments. So that was probably one of my favorite moments.
Yeah, and you just for you, because you're a proper Test cricketer, you won in Australia, you won in India. Your thoughts on the modern game? Things going towards T20. Of course, there's a lot of money involved. There is broadcasting rights, everything. Like this is where cricket is shifting. What do you think about this shift? And do you enjoy watching the IPL or T20 cricket in general?
Yeah, look, I love watching T20 cricket. Recently, I've been, when I was in India, I was at the World Cup. Then it came back. It was a big bash. Then we had the SA20. Then we had LIT20. Now we've got the PSL. Then the IPL will start. Then later on we'll have the World Cup and as well as Major League Cricket. So I think it's really good to see all these types of cricket being played, because the more of this cricket is played around the world, the better it is for the game, and the better it is for people who just love watching cricket. It'd be nice to see if there's a Saudi league one day.
Yeah.
Saudi Premier League, SPL.
I'm there right now, so we would be really happy to host.
Maybe in the golf Premier League or something. Golf cricket league, where it goes to Qatar, Oman, Saudi, or that would be.
You're in for it. You're positive about this approach.
Yeah, I love to see a Saudi Premier League. I love to see that happen.
Yeah, because you're getting more fans and more viewers as well, right? It's the benefit for the game. So
and also
I'm surprised because you're like a traditional Test cricketer, so that's why I wasn't sure what you're going to say. But like, it's good to see that you're open about it as well.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. I would love to see a new league being set up in Saudi. I think that would be unbelievable, and they, sort of like we see, with sport how they do it, really make it big.
Yeah, we got to bowl in tandem in that league. I bowl some leg spin as well.
Okay, perfect. Sounds great.
But yeah, that's Faz. You have any last questions? And then we
Just last, because you've played a World Cup, just wanted to know the feeling of playing a World Cup for your country and what that represents.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, World Cup's great. We was in the West Indies, and you have all the players, international cricketers at one place, and it is a fantastic, brilliant, experience. We didn't do so well, but it would have been nice to get through the group stages and really do well. But it didn't obviously happen for us. But it's a great experience, playing in the World Cup. It's something that we all dream to do, and I certainly fulfilled that dream.
Yeah, Monty, thank you so much. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. We learned a lot in this podcast. It was great. The technical side of things, you're talking about the spinners, talking about the batting as well. It's great to hear from a professional ex-cricketer, former international cricketer. So really appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the rest of the series. And I don't mind if it's 2-2 and then goes to Dharamshala and then, any team wins. That would be fun. But let's see what happens. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Cheers. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.